In this week's channel message from the angels, they are focused on the period of time that's leading up to the big flash of light, which is when we will, that they say that is the moment we will look back on and say that everything changed. The flash of light will be at the sort of the biggest jump we will make in our shift in consciousness. But what about the time leading up to that? How are we meant to navigate and find our own pathway through the potential chaos that is on the horizon? So welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so grateful that you're here. And for those of you who are new, my name is Ann Tucker. I'm a trance channel. I channel from the angelic realm. I do that by I go into a deep meditative state or trance. And from there, I raise my awareness up as high as I can go. I go a little higher, I connect, and then messages and information and healing come through. And I share it here with you guys on YouTube. So this week's message is they've been giving us for the last 2 months, they've been giving us some very specific information about what the flash of light is going to be like. But now they're shifting their focus to the time period, like I said, that is before that. And we know they've talked about lots of crazy stuff on the horizon. This message is going to tell us how to navigate all of it, how to get through these times in a way where you are on your path, where you are being led, where your needs are met, where you have the resources that you need. And it is all about learning to navigate from the heart. And here they give us a deep description about what that process looks like and what it's going to look like for you and why it's going to work, which I think is so important because they even say in the message that we are conditioned to think that preparing ourselves externally is the most important thing. And they're saying it's not now, not for this, that it's internal preparations that is going to be the most important thing that we can do, that to be leading from our heart. And here they describe, like I said, exactly how to do it. So it's a great message. I think you guys are going to love it. And the other piece of this that I think is so awesome is that they're talking about how we are already living in, like they say that the new reality is already being birthed from inside of us, and that it is in a place of coexistence right now with the old reality. And you probably have felt this coming on for some time, but right now it is quickening in some crazy ways. And I am seeing it all over the place. And what I have been witnessing I have seen things that people have been wishing for or waiting for a long time, all of a sudden happening. Like, for example, I have a very dear friend who I channeled for about a couple years ago about her love who's coming into her life. And the channeling was very, very specific, told her all about like what he was like, what he looked like, what he liked to do, where he was from, all this very specific stuff. And she's been wondering 2 years, like, where is he? Where is he? And then boom, out of nowhere, he shows up. And he 100% match for everything. It's the guy. It is the person she's meant to be with, right? Wow. All of a sudden now. And same thing for another person that I love, who's very dear to me, who always joked about like, oh, she was going to be with this kind of guy. And she would always name, like, she wanted to be with this very tall guy who had this very specific profession. And like, who knows where this came out of? It would have been like, I want to be, with like a 6'8" electrician. I mean, it was literally that specific. And boom, she is. Like, literally just the other day, he came walking in out of nowhere, and they're in a relationship, and it's in the same time frame, right? It's amazing. So this is all happening right now. This crazy manifestation of things. And I have been seeing angel numbers like bonkers, and always in confirmation of choices that I'm making. So I'll be making a decision and boom, I'll all of a sudden be called to look at the clock and it's 5:55, right? It's everywhere. And they talk about in the message, they talk about the physical manifestations of this, that many of you are experiencing crazy ear ringings or tingling in your extremities, or anyways, it's all talked about in the message, but these are all signs that we are in this energy. We can start working with this energy right now. And it's fun and it's meant to be joyous. It's meant to be a celebration of where we're headed. So I'm thrilled to share this message with you guys because I feel like it's so inspiring and hopeful about how we will find our way through. And I know there are those of you who are going to be worried about the people who are not receptive. But my thought is that there is nothing as convincing as seeing someone who lives in joy as a reason for someone else to seek their joy. So I think you become the lighthouse, right? You become the way shower. And that's by intention. So, all right, you guys, just a quick invitation is if you would like to join me for Soul Convergence, it starts on September 28th. Soul Convergence this is the time if you want to do deep healing. This is now you are more empowered than ever to you heal at a deep level. What I mean by healing is some people are like, do I need to heal? How do I know if I need to heal? And the truth is we all do. It is not because you are broken. Healing is referring to all of the ways in which we have not that we doubt ourselves, all of the things that you maybe don't like about yourselves, the things about yourself, the experiences that you've had. What experiences would you rather forget, that you push out of your mind, that you try not to think about? Each of these things are like aspects of ourself that need to be integrated into who we are. And when they are not integrated, it's like your soul is less defined. Your soul doesn't know itself as deeply. And when we allow those aspects of ourselves to come into our wholeness, when we acknowledge them, when we love them back into perfection and bring them back into our heart, we know ourselves at a much deeper level, and it connects you more strongly with your truth. And so you become this beautiful, defined, bright, shiny soul. And that is what healing is all about. And what it creates for you is an inner peace. It creates for you a sense of just almost like you're moving through life friction free. That is where we're headed. That is what we're creating. So I can tell you a lot more about it. Come and join me. And I can put the link to Soul Convergence. It starts the 28th. It is a deep and involving process, but it is amazingly transformative. And I would love to see you there. All right. Enjoy the video, you guys.
Beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We wish to bring to you a new start, a new day, a new timing for your own comprehension of how things will unfold. We wish to draw you into our arms, into a celebration, a pose of joy, a concentration upon the forces with which you are endowed, to understand that for a time you will herald a darkness. It is coming, but within you are light, you are bright. There is shade beneath, shadow beneath your light. There's always the interaction between what you are, what you have been, and how you are becoming. And from this to evolve always. And in these times which are consecrated by the heavens, which have been drawn to you for the purpose of transforming, you will find within your own heart the answers lie. That you are not entombed in separation, that you are not drawn down into the pain of these foreshadowed events. You may come to your own arrival in your own time and know you are aligned with what is luminous within you. Know that what is drawn into your own perception will be charmed by your own inspired vision. Know that you will find in times that there will be a separation from what was, and for this you are prepared. You have heard us before. We sing long. We sing joyfully about good things to come. And these are true. But rise in your faith of preparation of your soul, of your spirit. Know that what lies within you has been preparing for this separation as long as can be remembered, as long as can unfold within the time and space within which you dwell. And that which you hold as forever has never been encountered from the perspective of your new imaginings. It cannot hold what shall flow forward from this pivot point of separation from before. We wish for you to know that within your heart lies all answers, all guidance, all truth. Within you comes the preparation that is needed. Your heart holds the joyful celebration of these times. Do not let them unfold from without. Do not let the influences of what happens in your rear view mirror separate you from the joyful circumstance of your own internal changing. What is happening within your body now, which you are feeling as the tingling of your extremities, of the ringing in your ears, of the perception of time changing, of the arrival of good things wished upon finally come to bear fruit. These are signs of the awakening within you. There is a spirit within and among humanity that cannot remain hidden any longer, and it rises and it rises and it rises from within you. And within this spirit, a coexistence has been struck between the old and the new, and you are riding the crest of a wave of relief that moves from within you, and it carries you to a new day that knows not what is separation, that knows not what is suffering. It frames each moment of this convoluted pathway as a joyful and significant moment to celebrate what is now becoming. Within your heart, there lies the answers. Within your heart, there lies the truth. How may you connect? How may you transfer your anxieties to this knowingness within you? How may you hold yourself apart and at bay from what is in your surroundings? And we say the quiet that evolves around you is like a bubble of information. It is a consequential enveloping that starts from within. It is as if it comes on the wings of your prayer, of the wings of your words that you say to us as we hear you, the words to your own soul, to speak your name and surrender to the light that you are. Surrender to the consequential forming you have done prior to now, to release your hold on what is and settle within your own bodies. Know you have encountered these times again and again in preparation. You have moved in between the moments as if they have been coming always. And you knew the day would arrive when you would notice yourself changing. The time has come. You are arriving. And before soon, the world will consequently change. And the world that you are in will seem disempowered and disempowering. And you will find strife and struggle external. And we wish to remind you to come home to your truth, to focus in your heart space, to know the knowledge that is within you. The peace that separates you from the chaos comes from within. You can turn inwards. You can become whole. You can become more fluid. We envelop you in love, the trusting you have given, the time of your everlasting light that shines from within each moment creates a waterfall of addition, of consecration, of opportunity, of new things that will fall before you. Opportunities lie within the chaos. There is a pathway through for you. You will become mired in what is in your surroundings should you not turn inward. Becoming settled in your own skin, know your own heart's beating. Become anchored in the grounding of your body. Know it surrounds you now as always and creates for you a placement of focus within which you can connect to your own soul. This is your pathway. It feels to the self that the preparations to be made in a world of externality take precedence, but they do not. Settle yourself, settle your soul and your bodies. Become at peace with your surroundings. Know they exist with or without you, and you may settle yourself in the peace of your own truth and glide through what may come in this world and find your path through. You are guided through this connection within you, through the stirrings of your own blood, through the intuitive knowings that will rise and pull you toward what feels like celebration. These are joyful times within. Even in the greatest calamity, the external soreness of a world that needs healing, the heart within knows what comes in the future. And you are drawn to this with ease, with plenty. Be in the comfort of your body. Know the peace that's within your heart. This will guide you. This will guide you. And we stand as we are allowed, as you permit us, to create the pathway, to align you as we may fortuitously find opportunities. We bring to you what you shall need. Pray to your own soul. Pray to your own heart. Be still within, be quiet, and let the world unfold around you. Let the chaos be chaos, with or without you. Let it become what it shall be, as you shall, and peace will reign around you. Right? Like really, really cool message, really cool message. And they have been telling us that we need to stay focused and we need to turn inward. We need to be focused on love. They've been telling us that for a long time. But this is like, I feel like they're just getting more and more clear with each message, giving us more specific instructions. And they've given us really specific instructions for what's going to happen during this sort of cocoon phase when the flash of light comes, like how we're meant to, they've told us about how we're meant to, that we're going to feel like this heaviness in our bodies, and we're meant to lie down, and we're meant to, during that process, we'll be separating from our karma. Like they've described all of that in detail. But this is different. This is like, what do we do during the period leading up to the flash of light? How do we navigate that? And they're saying it's already rising from inside of you, right? That it's already this situation where, and they say it in here, this really cool thing that, where is it? And I underlined it, so hopefully I can find it again really quickly. But a coexistence has been struck between the old and the new. And you are riding the crest of a wave of relief that moves from within you. So this is like now, is a coexistence. So it's like we are living in kind of both worlds, but more and more we're rising and separating from what's currently happening. And that's showing up as these incredible like instant manifestations that you guys are experiencing. It's amazing, right? That like I was talking about, that these like things that you've been wishing for, hoping for a long time, suddenly showing up. The crazy angel numbers everywhere, right? It's and feelings of like just crazy amounts of like peace and love that come over, like good stuff, good stuff is happening. And maybe you can't hold it all the time, but it's a wave, right? You catch the wave, and how long, it's like if you've ever gone boogie boarding, it's like the wave comes up behind you and you just try to stay on it as long as you can, and that's where we are right now. We're in this coexistence phase, but we're meant to get out of our head, which is where fear lives. Fear is not in the heart. If you ever are making decisions from fear, you are not making decisions from your heart. And really, you got to feel into what is underlying this choice right now. Am I trying to get away from something, or am I trying to move towards something? Am I trying to move into something I want to experience, or am I trying to get away from something I don't want to experience? If you're trying to get away from something, that is fear. If you're trying to move towards something, that is love, right? So heart, we want to get to the heart. You need to focus and don't think about, gosh, I don't want to be without blah, blah, blah. That's fear. It's more like, I want to experience this good feeling, so I'm going to move towards that. Right? All decisions come from the heart going forward. That's where we need to be. We need to live in our hearts. So it's so important, because the more we can live in our heart, the better our experience is going to be. And that's what they're telling us. And so what they're saying here, if you guys remember, we got to tie it back to messages they gave us. This has been a building process. So those of you who are new to the messages, like I know there's a little, and I am putting together, there is a book in works, which will be out in like like 6 weeks. It's going to be ready, you guys. I finished it. It's with the publisher right now. I'm self-publishing, but I'm getting help with all of it takes a while to like format and get a cover and all that kind of stuff. And I'll have it ready for you. So it'll make it way easier for you to guys to go back and find like all the messages that are relevant, organized, so you can just read through them. So anyways, and there's summaries for each one. So I will get it. And I know it's like a time thing. Like we want to get it quick because these events are happening. So I will get it to you guys, like I said, as soon as it's ready. And I think it's going to, so this is right now, we're in the beginning of September. So like think like hopefully mid-October, like to the end of October, at the latest end of October. So fingers crossed. I might have it in time for the retreat, which would be amazing. I could bring it to the retreat as like a launch party, but our retreat is at the October, like the third weekend of October is our retreat. So that would be super fun to do as like a book launch, wouldn't it? That'd be awesome. So, okay. So anyways, so let's go through the message and talk through what's in here. And you guys have some great comments in here. I want to go back because you were saying that one of you had a dream. And I love that when you guys have dreams about this stuff. So Penny says, I had the exact dream you talked about, how the angels are going to lead us upstairs and through the door. I spread open my arms and stepped. Don't remember anything else, but later my guide said dress rehearsal. Oh my gosh, that is so cool, Penny. Yes, and I have heard multiple people say that exact thing that have posted it like in the comments on YouTube where they said, I dreamt about this exact process. Thank you for helping me understand. You know, this is what's, so many people are dreaming about this exact, and this is the way that this works. Like I am not the only one who has access to the angels. All of you have access to the angels, and all of you have access to your own higher self. So all of us are getting pieces of information, and we're meant to share, right? We're meant to talk about, hey, I dreamt this piece of it, or I dreamt this, or I received, you know, in my own gut, in my own connection, I received this information, because we all have pieces of the puzzle. But so I love it when you guys share what you get, because it adds information and confirmation and everything for people, which is so great. Yeah. And Amina says, love, love, love this message. The heart within knows what comes in the future. Pray to your own heart and let the world unfold around you. Yes, exactly. Beautifully said, Amina. Thank you. Yet chaos outside of us, no worries. Yes, that's it. And that is, and they said multiple times, chaos will happen with or without you. Like you don't have control over the chaos. And so it's almost like rain. If you're getting mad at the rain, it's kind of pointless because you can't change it, right? You kind of have to be like, the chaos is going to happen with or without you. And if we think of the chaos, understand the chaos as a release of energy. It's literally like releasing the energy so that it can propel the new world that we're moving into. Yeah, and then, oh gosh, I picked that up too, Becky, when they said it comes before soon. I think it's like the soon, right? I laughed at that too. They are totally playing with us. They have a great sense of humor, actually. They really do. So let's go in and read. And you're saying, I can't believe the tingling was mentioned. I've been having that feeling more and more lately, and the tingling has been spreading. So you're getting it in your extremities? That is so interesting. Yes. And it's spreading. So they're saying that's part of it. And lots of people I know are getting crazy ear ringing. Yeah. And Cecilia says, beautiful. I now understand my life better. People close to me have trained me in handling chaos for years. Oh, wow. I think you meant that as a joke. Yeah. And you're saying, yeah, so many angel numbers. Yeah. Miracles, challenges. Yep. Exactly. Weaving spiritual braids. Oh, isn't that a beautiful thought? Yeah. And Patty says, so grateful to have the grounding of soul convergence and gift activation. Makes all the difference. Thank you for mentioning that, Patty. We do, for those of you who know, who are ready to dig in, this is the time. If you want to do your healing, Soul Convergence is starting soon, September 28th. It starts, which is my birthday. So what a great day to start, right? For me, anyways, I'm excited. I'm happy to share it with you guys. I love sharing it with you guys. What is a birthday if not shared? So Soul Convergence, for those of you who don't know, is our deep trauma healing program. And it is a deep healing program. This is where you work through the real reasons why we came to the planet. What did we bring in? What was our intention when we got here that we were going to work through? What are the lessons that pop up for you over and over and over again? These will be the patterns that you're replaying in your life. The core things where you're like, why does this never work out for me? That is what we're looking at in these sessions. But the what's really happening is we are working to balance your masculine and feminine energy. And what that does is once you are harmonized, it opens up your connection. So this is the pathway forward. So this is the chance chance to do it. That right now it is way easier to heal than it will be in the future, because we are in this 3D crunchy world where we confront ourselves. So all the world is a laboratory to show you how the healing is working, what you are working on. It's letting you encounter and find the wounds. Though that's one of the hardest parts, is to find the wounds. It is our perception, our awareness. That is the challenge always. The more you heal, actually, the harder it is to find the wounds, because it's just we don't see ourselves. But Soul Convergence helps you do it. So those of you who would like to join us, it's not too late. We start September 28th, and I will put in a link. So thank you, Patty. You're saying this. I'm so glad that you were in the program, and it has been amazing. The results have been astounding. And yes, there has been a ton of emotional healing, and that does often result in some physical healing. So we've had, actually now it's been 2 people that have come forward who've been in the program who said that they've had material increases in hearing. Their hearing has they've been from not hearing to hearing. So that's been incredible. We've had multiple people lose weight, sometimes as much as 30 pounds. They've lost weight. So all kinds of stuff happens. We just never know what it's going to be. And of course, there's no promises, because at the end of the day, you heal yourself. That yes, we are working with the angels, but we are the ones that have to do the release. They facilitate it in this program, but we have to let it happen. So it's up to us. But there's an enormous potential with this program, and now is the time. So join us. I hope you will. If you haven't yet, I hope you will join us, because I wouldn't speak about it so strongly if I didn't really, really believe in it, because I see what it's doing for people, and I'm super excited. So, all right. So let's dig into the message. Let's go through and talk about what they say. So the first paragraph, they say, we wish to bring you to a new start, a new day, a new timing for your own comprehension of how things will unfold. So the new timing, I think, is the idea. They want us to understand this, that we're in it right now. That yes, there's the flash of light, and that's the big boost we're going to get. That's going to take us up the stairs to the doorway where we get to choose if we're going to go through or not, right? That's the big moment that we all get the huge boost of energy. But right now, you guys are already experiencing it, right? And going through, and working on yourself, doing your healing is going to help you experience it faster, more of it, right? So it's very exciting. We wish to draw you into our arms, into a celebration, a pose of joy. So this is the second time they've been talking about this, that the frequencies, and think of it, every emotion is a frequency. So think of the energy of celebration and the energy of joy. That these are frequencies that the angels are going to be holding during the process of our transition through what they call the void, as we kind of go through this metamorphosis process. When the flash of light comes, we go into this kind of metamorphosis, and then there is a second self inside of us, which is still you. It still has all of your memories. You'll still have the same relationships and family members. You'll still have the same everything. You'll be the same, except you will no longer have, it'll be you in a higher frequency. So literally think about yourself right now when you're in the dumps, like when you're in your worst emotion, when you feel shame, like that's one of the lowest. So think of who you are when you feel shame, and think of who you are when you feel elated. Right? When you are in absolute love for another person or another being or a pet or whoever, when you're in that feeling of just like, oh, I just love them so much, I'm going to explode. It contrast those 2 emotions that you carry, and same you, but 2 different emotions. So that is like within one register, one octave. But we are moving to a higher octave, and we can use that example to understand what it's going to be like. So imagine that where we are now is like the note of shame, and we're moving to the note of love, right? We're going to be taking our full experience and we're going to be raising it up to a higher octave. And so we will be the same, but we will be different in that experience. We will be in the same world in terms of our relationships and our memories and stuff like that, but our soul will be operating at a higher frequency, and that is what we are moving towards. And so one of the ways that we get there is through this flash of light that's going to come. And during that, there will be this, the angels have talked about celebration and joy. But what they're saying now is that this is available to us increasingly right now, where we are now. And you guys are all experiencing this right now. And they said the frequencies that we want to be looking for are celebration and joy. And this is how we're meant to kind of ride through the chaos. So they say they want to bring us into their arms, into a celebration, a pose of joy, a concentration upon the forces with which you are endowed. So the forces with which you are endowed are this higher frequency self that's inside of you. To understand that for a time you will herald a darkness, it is coming, but within you are light, you are bright. So, chaos outside, but light inside. They go on to say, there is shadow beneath your light. There's always the interaction between what you are, what you have been, and how you are becoming. So they have another message they gave us about this. I think this was actually in one of our peace bathing sessions, but they talked about the shade and the shadow. It was fascinating. Maybe it was a message. I'm not sure. Anyways, they've talked about this. I get it all mixed up in my head. But they've said that the shadow is where everything emerges from. And so it makes sense that like the shadow is like the feminine energy, and then the light is like the masculine energy, and the shadow is infinite potential. All things emerge from there, right? So it's not dark in terms of evil. It's dark in terms of quiet and stillness. It's energy that has not been used, right? Up here, energy is being used. It's like a light bulb that's activated. The light is being burned. The energy is being used in the moment. Down in the dark, in the stillness, the energy is waiting. And so that's the shadow. And so they're saying that everything that we are emerges from there. That you have to rise from something. It takes energy to be born. Where does it come from? It comes from the shade, from the shadow, from energy that has been released from something else, that it becomes you. So the new world has to come from something. So they're just saying, they're using this as a metaphor. They're saying just like you rise from shadow or shade, just like you as a soul, as a human body, we have to rise from what was, then so will the new world. And so they're saying, they say, so, and from that shade, you evolve always. They say, in these times which are consecrated by the heavens. They're always reminding this is all being guided by source, by love, right? They say, you will find within your own heart the answers lie, that you are not emboldened or entombed. Where is this? Oh, sorry, that in these times which are consecrated by the heavens, which have been drawn to you for the purpose of transforming, what you will find within your own heart the answers lie, that you are not entombed in separation, that you are not drawn down into the pain of these foreshadowed events. So in our heart, we find a pathway where we won't suffer. And that's the idea. And that doesn't mean that we won't be in an environment where suffering is occurring. It means that we will not feel suffering, that our experience will be different. And so they go on to say, you may come to your own arrival in your own time and know you are aligned with what is luminous within you. In other words, it's not going to be the same for each of us, that each of us is going to go through this process in just right timing, right? That it's going to be the perfect path for you, but that in the process of that arrival, that as long as we are guided by our heart, that we're aligned with what is luminous inside of us. And that's the key. Like it's not an all or nothing. It doesn't mean that you have to like, boom, I'm shifted, I'm ascended, I did it and I'm done. It's like, no, it can be a journey. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. Like all of you have been working on yourselves all this time. Like how long have you been on a spiritual journey? I've been on a spiritual journey forever, right? It's like forever. So it's not like a one and done. It's like going to the gym. You build up the muscle, you get better and better and better at it, right? So, but it's all about trying to learn to live from within our heart. And then know what is drawn into your own perception. Know that what is drawn into your own perception will be charmed by your own inspired vision. Know that you will find in times that there will be a separation from what was, and for this you are prepared. So it's that idea. They say that what you see, your perception, will be your own charmed vision. And you guys have probably experienced this before, where maybe you've been with someone who's a negative Nelly, and you had the exact same experience, and you came away from that experience with like, oh, that was really positive. It's the whole like going to Starbucks and like you talked to the barista and they were really, really nice to you and your coffee came out perfect, and you leave feeling really happy, and another person comes in and they're in a bad mood and they feel like the barista was rude, and their coffee comes out and they're dissatisfied with it and they're grumpy, right? Same exact environment, same exact experience, but their perception gave them a negative experience, whereas yours gave you a really positive experience. And and that's real. Right? That is a real thing. Your felt experience is real. So, and you will they say that, so when you are living from within, know that what is drawn into your perception will be charmed by your inspired vision, inspired by the heart, right? It'll be a charmed vision. So, yay that. That sounds awesome. Then they say, know that you will find in times that there will be a separation from what was, and for this you are prepared. So now they're going to go into this idea that our souls have prepared for this experience before coming. We knew what we were coming into. Every single soul that's here right now knew about what was coming and this shift in consciousness that we're going to be going through. Like this was literally, to be here now is like winning the lottery ticket to be here, because this is such an incredible time. We get a twofer. We get two amazing things by being here now, right? The first is, this is the most powerful time for healing that has ever existed. And by healing, I don't mean that like everybody needs to heal. Healing means how coherent are you as a soul? What parts of yourself have you not come to accept and to love? And there's a piece of all of us that there's things about you that you might not love. There's things about your experience, maybe things you have done or said or experienced or felt, or things that were done to you that you wish weren't and that you cannot sit with, where you say, I wish I could just take that and block it out. I don't want that to have happened. And that is a piece of you. That experience is something that is incoherent with the rest of you because you are pushing it away. You're in resistance to it. So anything we resist about ourselves is incoherent. And now is the time for us to achieve coherence. And this matters forever, because you as a soul, as you grow and expand and change, every time we come to earth, we have the opportunity to heal. When we get to the other side, what you will see is there will be some souls that will be really fuzzy in their outline, that will be sort of diffuse, and those souls are more incoherent. They have not integrated all aspects of themselves. And there will be some souls you see who will be bright and crisp, and you will see them and they will glow and be glorious. And they are crisp because they are coherent light. It's the same difference as an incandescent light bulb that kind of softly glows and lights up a room, and a laser beam, which can cut through a wall, right? Way more powerful. And that's what you are when you are coherent. That's what we're, not that we want to cut through walls, but you want to have that coherence in your energy, because the power that you're emanating is love. You become coherent love, as opposed to love that's kind of in there, but it's confused by all these pieces that you wish you didn't have. So that is the healing that's available to us now. So that is why coming now was winning the lottery ticket, because you have the opportunity to heal in this 3D environment where humans traditionally change because we are forced to, because we experience pain. And this has been a painful world. 3D reality is painful. And so we have been in this environment where our world keeps showing us over and over again. We keep dating that same partner over and over and over again, right? Or the same things happen over repeatedly. The same bad boss, whatever it is, you know? And that is 3D reality. That is the reality that we're living in. And it is an incredible healing opportunity, because like I said, the hardest thing to do is to see ourselves. And this environment shows us ourselves if we're willing to see it. So this has been amazing. And once we get through this, then the next amazing thing on the menu comes for us, which is that we get to be embodied and experience a metamorphosis from the inside out. So this is going to be like unlike anything any other human has ever felt, ever. Like, this is a unique time in history for any of us. So this is like phenomenally exciting that we get to experience the birth of a new era from inside of us. It literally will come from within our own hearts, that we are creating it from inside of us. The new world doesn't exist yet. It will be what we create from our higher state of consciousness. So yeah, a total twofer, like a double hitter inning, or double whatever they call that when you get a baseball game and it's like 2 games in one. It's that. Or 2 movies in 1 ticket. It's that. Like, it's double bonus good times to be here right now. So that is why it's so incredible to have won the lottery ticket to be here, because we get all this cool stuff that we can do while we're here. So yeah, where was I? Okay. So, but the key is they're saying that you, so we prepared, we knew before we came, we prepared for this whole experience. And what I mean by prepared is, many of you have heard me talk about that I have seen myself in my dreams preparing for this life. And the way I saw it, I saw myself standing with my guide and looking at a film strip and seeing the frames of the film strip go by. And we were rehearsing a particular event in my life that needed to happen in order for me to have the life that I planned for myself, to have the lessons and all the stuff that I was supposed to do. So, and as we were discussing, that we would look at the film strip, then I would jump into the film strip, I would act it out, and then I would jump out and we would discuss and say, well, what do you think? Was that the best way? Should I have done it differently? What if I tweak? What if I change this word and say it this way instead? How will that affect? And then I'd jump back in and we'd do it again, and over and over and over. And we do that before we live a life. So you guys have rehearsed this experience that we're going, you can't mess up, in other words. This is a karmic, like destined, you guys have planned for this. Like, you guys, you may not know it consciously, but your inner soul, your higher self knows this. Like, you guys have, it's like you've got guardrails on both sides leading you towards your own shifting, which is so exciting, right? But it'll happen in your own time. So as you have planned it for your own highest and best, so that you get the most out of this unique opportunity of being here. So they say, for this you are prepared. Then they go on to say, next paragraph, you have heard us before. We sing long, we sing joyfully about good things to come, and these are true. But rise in your faith of preparation of your soul, of your spirit. Know that what lies within you has been preparing for this separation as long as can be remembered. So, in other words, you came in this life knowing all about this and knowing exactly what's going to happen for you and what you're going to do, how you're meant to live it, and just trust yourself. So that's the whole thing. Is you're saying trust yourself, that you're going to be fine, that you've rehearsed this, and you're going to be where you need to be when the time comes. It's going to work out for you because you've rehearsed it, right? And then they say, as long as can unfold within the time and space within which you dwell. So in other words, that before you came into this life. And that which you hold as forever has never been encountered from the perspective of your new imaginings. It cannot hold what shall flow forward from this pivot point of separation from before. So the future we imagine for ourselves, like when we think of forever as like the whole life we were going to have and forever beyond that, they're saying, nope, this is a pivot point where everything you've ever thought of as forever is now going to change. Like all of the imaginings you've had about your future and the future of the world and everything, all different going forward. It's a pivot point, a complete shift going forward. Pretty exciting. This is not a subtle shift. This is a complete shift. All right. So then they go on to say, we wish for you, and like a rebirth is a good way to think about it, a total rebirth of the world and us inside of it. We wish for you to know that within your heart lies all answers, all guidance, all truth. Within you comes the preparation that is needed. Your heart holds joyful celebration in these times. So that's what we're meant to be tuning into, is the joyful celebration, that emotion, that feeling. Do not let them unfold from without. Do not let and here's the thing about joyful celebration, by the way, that I was not good at celebrating. I'm still not great at celebrating. I am the person who finishes something and then immediately I'm like it's almost like there's like a weird letdown when I finish something, and then I just dig into the next project. I have been bad, and so they've actually given me guidance in previous dreams that I need to celebrate. I need to practice celebrating so that I can get in tune with that emotion of celebration, of like, yay, great job, you did it. Let's celebrate. Like some of you are probably great at that. Like those of you who like throw parties and are really good, like you need to teach the rest of us how to celebrate properly, because I'm not great at it. And so I've had to make a point of it. And I had to go through, like I literally had dreams telling me I needed to make milestones for myself that were achievable and assign rewards or things I would look forward to with each milestone, so that I would make a point of celebrating. And this is a thing, like my inability to celebrate, like it's thrown out, like I see it through my whole life. But this is important that we practice celebrating, because this is the energy, the emotion we want to attune to. And I don't think it should be a good thing. We should be like, yay, that's my homework. I have to practice celebrating. So I would suggest to you, practice celebrating. What things can you look in your own life that would be milestones, achievable milestones that you would then be, and how are you going to celebrate it? And like feel into it, like what feels joyful and exciting. And I think I told you guys before, like one of them, and this is where, again, I did not celebrate well, where I set a goal that when we hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, then me and Wendy were going to go and get Hermes scarves. And I know that's like a silly, like, why do you need an Hermes scarf? They're beautiful. I mean, they're stunning. The silk is like so pretty, and the designs are like amazing, and they're really expensive. So I would never buy one for myself. Like I would never do that. I mean, I did buy one when I was in college that I found at a used store. I found it in Paris at like a thrift shop, if you can believe it. But and that's a long time ago. But anyways, I've never been able to like just walk into like that gorgeous store and be like, I want that one, you know? So anyways, that was the goal. We were going to do it, and we hit 50,000, but she's in the other side of the country. So we can't go until the retreat. She's going to come out, and we're going to go shopping and buy our Hermes scarf. So maybe I'll bring it. Maybe I'll wear it to the retreat. But anyways, so that is how I meant to celebrate, but I still haven't done it. So I'm like, okay, I'm still not acing this. I have set up something that I couldn't fulfill right away. So yeah, I need to work on that. So maybe feel into yourself, like how good are you guys? If you guys have ideas for how to celebrate, like please share, because or how to feel celebration and what it feels like. Because it's not, I don't know. Maybe you're not, maybe you're like me. Did you guys ever see, I'm chatty today. Did you guys ever see, there was this movie with Jessica Chastain where she was like an obsessed like CIA agent and they were going after like Osama bin Laden or something in the movie. And she's obsessive, right? And the whole movie is like her and she's super intense all the time. And at the very end, like she gets it and she succeeds and she accomplishes her goal. And they show her at the end of the movie and she's in like a military cargo plane flying back like to the US, and she's just sitting there and you could tell that she's like in almost like in shell shock, and somebody says, so what are you going to do now? And she just burst out crying. Like she has so no skills in celebrating that it's like she has postpartum depression immediately. She finishes this huge thing and she doesn't even know what to do with herself. She has no celebration skills. That's, yeah, I can relate to that. I'm like, okay, so I got to work on this because this is going to be important. This idea of celebration and joy is going to be really important as we're trying to move through these energies. So yeah. All right. So then they go on to say, do not let them unfold from without. So do not focus on what's happening outside of yourself. Do not let the influences of what happens in your rear view mirror separate you from the joyful circumstances of your own internal changing. So close the shades if you have to. Shut out. Don't watch the news. Shut it out. Focus on your joy and your celebration. What is happening within your body now? What are you feeling as the tingling of your extremities? So this is like these, and lots of you guys are feeling these symptoms. They're saying this is the energy coming in, and it's the energy from inside of us. A lot of us have been thinking these are the energies hitting the planet. Yes, but they're hitting the planet, hitting you, awakening the energy that's inside of you. And the energy inside of you is this higher state of consciousness. And that is what's creating the tingling, that here they say, the tingling of the extremities, the ringing of your ears, the perception of time as changing. Boy, did that one hit me this morning where I sat down. Jeff he's a hands-on healer. He did a healing on me because he's working on building up his skills. And we set the timer for 5 minutes because we had very short time before I had to come and do this. And I started and the timer went off and I thought that literally like 1 second had gone by. I completely lost time. I was like, boom, and it was over. Shocked me. A total like time, perception of time, absolutely gone in that second. They say, of the arrival of good things wished upon, but finally come to bear fruit. So this is like amazing that I'm seeing in people around me, people that I love, that are having long wished for dreams, partners, work opportunities, things that are like and not just slightly like what they wished for, but exactly like what they had hoped for. It's almost like when they wished for it, they were downloading an intuitive hit of what was coming for them, and then now it manifests. That's how I would describe it. It wasn't the thing where someone's like, I wish I won the lottery. It was like these oddly specific downloads that created for them a longing or a wish for something, and then boom, right now is when it's coming forward. So crazy to see. And I'm seeing this all around me. I'm loving it. Like, it's so exciting. You got that I could celebrate. That I could I have really easy time for me to celebrate other people's stuff. Like, it's a me-based thing. Who else feels that? You guys, anybody? I'm alone in this. Maybe it's just me. I got to work on it. I'm working on it. That's what I'm doing, you guys. But I'm going to celebrate my working on it. So, all right. So then they go on to say, so arrival of good things wished upon finally come to bear fruit. These are signs of the awakening within you. There is a spirit within and among humanity that cannot remain hidden any longer. So this is that inner higher frequency self. So they say within you, so it's your higher self vibration. They say and in humanity, because we are one consciousness. While we are embodied, this is like the unity consciousness of humanity, which is like what we think of as like our what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. But anyways, you know what I mean? The unity consciousness of all of us. So that is also raising in frequency. And then they go on to say, so it cannot remain hidden any longer. It rises and it rises and it rises from within you. Right? So the collective shift is you and the individual shift is you. Super, super cool. So there is a spirit within and among humanity. Oh, sorry, there it goes. And within this spirit, a coexistence has been struck between the old and the new, and you are riding the crest of a wave of relief that moves from within you. So this is how we're meant to ride through the times that are coming, right? This is how we're going to harness our own internal joy and celebration that will carry us through the chaos. Like, this is the path that we're meant to be on for the next period of time until the flash of light comes. And they say that's a coexistence between the old and the new. So this is this interim period. And it's all about being in the heart. And they go on to say, and it carries you to a new day that knows not what is separation. So it carries us to the flash of light, right? To the new day. This is the flash of light comes, and then boom, we're there, right after the flash of light. But they're saying, how do we get there? This wave that we're building right now, letting it emerge from inside of us at our own pace, our own timing, that is what carries us to the new day that knows not what is separation, that knows not what is suffering. So when we get there, then we're no longer going to be in this period where externally they're suffering. All of a sudden it's like, okay, all of that, we've released our karma. All of that is not any longer in our awareness or perception. We have moved beyond it as humanity, hopefully all of us, right? Although I believe that when the flash of light comes, it won't be that there won't be suffering on the planet anymore. It's that it will no longer be in your experience, right? That it'll be that when you move into the new state of being, you will be in a position to help others who have not yet been able to accept this higher state of consciousness. And you will be there to give them the path, to show them this is how you do it. This is how you embrace the light, right? So that's kind of why we're all here. Part of the reason we're here. All right. So they go, it frames each moment of this convoluted pathway as a joyful and significant moment to celebrate what is now becoming. Within your heart, there lies the answers. Within your heart, there lies the truth. How may you connect? How may you transfer your anxieties to this knowingness within you? So how do you move from the head, anxieties, to the heart, which is love, celebration, joy? So, and then they say, how may you hold yourself apart and at bay from what is in your surroundings? And then I highlighted this next paragraph. They say, and we say the quiet that evolves around you is like a bubble of information. So this is super interesting. So, and then they say it is a consequential enveloping that starts from within. So the angels have talked about an umbrella of peace that goes over us when we're in the cocoon. Like when we go into when the flash of light comes and we go up the stairs and we go through the doorway, we are sort of in this cocoon state where it's almost like we're in suspended animation till we get to the other side. So what they're describing here is saying what is happening now is that we have a bubble of information that goes around us that emerges from the light inside of us. So this is, as the more that we are in our heart, the more we are feeding energy to this new light inside of us is trying to emerge. So, and it's a consequential enveloping. So this is how we are able to have a different experience. As we fuel this, it emerges, and it says it is a consequential enveloping that starts from within. So it's almost like it comes out and it creates almost like a force field of protection around you, right? It creates and I have heard people say that we will be glowing, and that might be after the flash of light. I don't know. Maybe some of you will start glowing, but it will be a bubble of information that is around you. So how are you perceiving things in a different way? Because through our heart, we're starting to perceive, and it makes sense that it's a bubble like in your aura, like you have a field of thoughts and field of emotions in your aura around you. So I think that is it. The bubble of information is a consequential enveloping that starts from within. It is as if it comes on the wings of your prayer, on the wings of your words that you say to us as we hear you, the words to your own soul, to speak your name and surrender the light that you are. Surrender to the consequential forming you have done prior to now, to release your hold on what is and settle within your own bodies. So they're talking about this period now, but then this latter part sounds to me like the cocoon, like the metamorphosis after the flash of light, because they said before in that process, the way that we are meant to, as we move through it, as we start to re-embody, we are meant to say, by saying our names out loud, your full name, as you speak it today. It doesn't have to be the name necessarily you were born with. It can be if you've changed your name. It's the name that you know yourself as now, the name that you choose for you, which should be the name you have now, hopefully, that you say that name to help you embody in the new reality, right? That's one of the things you can do to kind of almost like mesh all of you together again. All of you, what you were into what you're becoming. So that whole idea of saying your name is meant to be kind of like at the end of this flash of light experience. So then they say, and surrender to the light that you are. So this is like the rebirth when we say our name and surrender to the light that you are. And that's after the flash of light. Surrender to the consequential forming that you have done prior to now. And so this is where it gets a little bit confusing with the angels, because when they start talking about this happens before that, when they say prior to now, do they mean now as in right this moment? Do they mean now as in after you've done the flash of light? And it gets confusing. Their sense of time they have no sense of time. So when they start to use things like now or words like that, it becomes hard to understand because of the fact. But I think we could understand it as both. That we are going to surrender to the consequential forming you have done prior to now. That means the preparation you have done prior to incarnating, right? The consequential forming and it also means all of the healing that you have done prior to now. And then when you get to the end, when we've moved through the flash of light, the now, if that's the now, then they're talking about the metamorphosis process that you've gone through. So I think we can listen to it either way. But when they start using words like that, it can be confusing, like I said, because they see all time as now. Then they go on to say, to release your hold on what is and settle into your own bodies. So then this next paragraph is they're basically saying that we practice for this before coming. They say, no, you have encountered these times again and again in preparation. You have moved in between the moments as if they had been coming always, right? So this is that idea that we rehearsed and then, and so we know like this, there's a deeper part of ourselves that knows what to do because we've rehearsed it. And you knew the day would arrive when you would notice yourself changing. The time has come. You are arriving. And before soon, those of you who've been with me for a while get their joke there. Before soon, the angels always will say soon, but soon means, what does it mean? Is it like 4 years? Is it 2 years? So we joke that it's the angel soon is soon. So they hear us say that and here they're teasing us before soon. So it's like, I think they mean by that really soon. Before soon is like soon. So before soon, the world will consequently change. And the world that you are in will seem disempowered and disempowering, and you will find strife and struggle external. So we know this. They've been telling us, just recently, they've been telling us like, hey, these chain of really much more dramatic transformational events are like we're right in, like they're here, they're happening, they're already unfolding. And we know that, like you guys can feel it in the world, like it's, and it's happening, like war is expanding, economic trouble is like brewing. There's crazy stuff out there that seems to be coming up. So we're right in it, and it's intensifying, and we know that. So they said, but you've prepared for that in terms of learning to be in our heart. We've prepared for it, and they say, and we wish to remind you to come home to your truth. So all they're doing here is reminding us of something that we know inside of us. They're reminding us to focus in your heart, space, to know the knowledge that is within you. To the peace that separates you from the chaos comes from within. You can turn inwards. You can become whole. You can become more fluid. So this is how we are meant to navigate these times. We envelop you in love. The trust you have given the time of your everlasting light that shines from within. Each moment creates a waterfall of addition, of consecration, of opportunity, of new things that will fall before you. Opportunities lie within the chaos. There is a pathway through for you. And so they're really telling us, like, don't pay attention to, like, instinctively. It's a little bit like the way that we have been trained to live in the world is musical chairs. And we've been taught that there's a limited number of chairs, and that if we don't run fast enough, we won't get a chair and we will be left out. And that has been the lesson of living in a 3D world, right? And so we panic when we think, oh my gosh, they're running out of chairs. Now is the time I got to run, right? And I'm competing with everyone else. And they're saying, no, don't go there. That's not what we're meant to be in. They're saying that even within chaos, they say there is a pathway for you. All we got to do is listen to the knowledge that we have. Each of us has the knowledge inside of us because we rehearsed for this. And so they're just reminding us that it's there. And all we got to do it is turn away from our fear with every single choice. Tune into your heart. Don't turn away from what you don't want. Turn towards what you do want. Focus on the peace. Go into celebration. Go into love. Go into joy. Right? Joy, see in the chaos a release of energy that is fueling the rise of a new world that we're going to love. That is what they're telling us, right? You will become mired in what is in your surroundings should you not turn inward, right? So they're saying we can, if we always have free will, we have free choice. So even though we rehearsed, we could say, nah, I want to be in fear, right? I'm choosing fear. We could do that. You have absolute 100% authority over your life. You could do that. But we're not going to do that, right? They said, become settled in your own skin. Know your heart's beating. Become anchored in the grounding of your body. So this is how, even if you are in a state of fear, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but let me finish this paragraph. Know your own heart's beating. Become anchored in the grounding of your body. Know it surrounds you now, as always, and creates for you a placement of focus within which you can connect to your own soul. This is your pathway. So what do? If you're in a state where you're like, I am so freaked out, how do I possibly get into my heart? And that is a real deal thing. Like if you're in a place where like there's, 200 miles away a volcano going off, like, yeah, you're going to be freaking out because, or if there's an earthquake happening, how do we not freak out? And so they say the body, like use the body. And I will tell you, I woke up the other day and I recognized that I had fear in my body. And the first thing I do, my first instinct is to try to push it down, is to be like, okay, I'm not going to feel the fear. I'm just going to choose not to feel fear. And I know better than that, but it's still natural. It's still a natural thing to do, is to just, what you try to do is you try to get busy. You try to go do things to try to make the fear feel better. You try to be like, well, if I do this, I will feel less fearful, right? I will do a physical thing that somehow solves for the thing I'm afraid about. And that actually won't do it. Fear is an emotion like any other emotion. We think of fear as being like more permanent somehow, like if it's a response to something real in the world. But it's not. Fear is an emotion that we hold. And it's a reaction to things. So it's internal. Fear belongs to you. You have control over it. And so the way that we clear our fear is, and I did this the other morning and it works like hot darn every time I do it, is you go, if you feel fear, you go into the body like they're describing, close your eyes, go internal. And even if you have fear right now, let's do it. So go ahead and just close your eyes, and you want to ground by dropping a root down from your tailbone and follow that root down, follow it all the way down to the center of the earth. And then take a deep breath and just relax, drop down, and feel as you're grounding. And normally I do a much longer grounding with you guys, but this is just to show you an example, and many of you have your own grounding practices. So when you're grounded and grounded in that root, and do that until you feel your body kind of let loose and open into the earth. So then what you want to do is focus in the body, feel the feeling of fear. Just go into that fear, whatever is rising the fear, and you just go into your body and feel it. And so it might be that you feel it like all of a sudden you feel your heart fluttering, like anxiety, or you might feel it in your diaphragm, like it feels like fluttering. Fear does. It feels like this, and it'll be maybe in your diaphragm or in your heart, or it might be somewhere else in the body. And so then just sit with it. Don't judge it. Just sit with the fear and be like, okay, I have fear. So let the fear rise, let it come up, let it fill your whole, but just let the fear get bigger and bigger, and let it fill your whole body, and just breathe through it. Just let it be fear. Feel that vibration, that fluttering. As soon as it leaves your diaphragm or wherever it is, it becomes less intense, and it will continue to vibrate, but it'll vibrate, fill your whole body, and you'll be like, okay, I feel the fear is here. And then pretty soon it will dissipate and you won't be able to feel it anymore. And you might have to do 2 or 3 rounds. You'll do the first round, it'll flutter and release. Then take a minute, take a breath, tune back in. Is there anything left? Is there another layer? Because they come in like layers of a cake. So come in, do it again. Where do I feel it? Feel again each time. Ask yourself, where is it? Where's the fluttering? It might be somewhere else this time. Again, let it rise bigger, fill the body, release, and then do it another time. And do it until you no longer feel it. And then boom, you're clear and you're in the body. Be in the body, right? And then from that place, then you can tune into your heart. So it's an easy practice, but it works. It really works. And you call in the angels before you do it. Say, angels, please help me. I'm going to heal my fear. Please help me lift my fear. Help me integrate and love my fear. And they will do it. They'll help you. So yeah. Oh, Debbie reminded me what I was trying to say is collective consciousness. Thank you. That was the word I was trying to say. I'm so grateful for you guys. Yeah. So, okay. So anyways, so that is how to get into your body, even if you're in a situation where you're like, how the heck do I get out of my fear? This is how you can do it. It's about loving the fear. And but I mean by loving it is allowing it to express, giving it freedom, free your fear. And that's how you love it, and let yourself feel it. And that's how you integrate it into your heart. Your heart feels it and brings it into itself. And that's how you become coherent. So you are healing yourself, which is awesome. So, so becoming settled in your own skin, know your own heart's, let's see here. Am I in the right place? Yeah. Become anchored in the grounding of your body. Know it surrounds you now as always, and creates for you a placement of focus within which you can connect to your own soul. This is your pathway. Then I highlighted these next two paragraphs. It says, it feels to the self that the preparations to be made in a world of externality take precedence, but they do not. And this is I'm so glad they said that, because this is really, really true. That when you are anticipating a lot of change in the world, the first thing we do is we think, I got to gear up. Like, I need to be focused on whatever it is that you are focused on. And you guys know they have given us some specific advice that it is a good idea to have a backstock of food. If that means a bag of rice and a bag of beans, that is wonderful. Whatever feels like, tune into your own heart what you need. And then, or what you feel will be of service, what you're going to enjoy. They have suggested that we have cash on hand in the events that we're not able to withdraw money from the bank. These are all possibilities. These are not absolutes. These are not going to happen in all places. They're not going to happen for everyone. They might happen in just in case they happen in your area. It takes very little effort to do these things now. So why not? Why not do these things now? And it's not even just an angel thing. Like the Red Cross says that we should have these things. They say we should have 2 weeks of food on hand. We should have, like, it's just like a normal recommendation. And we are certainly in times of uncertainty. So it makes sense to do these things. But the key is to do them not from fear, to do them from the place of, I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel a sense of relief that I don't have to go to the store all the time to buy rice, that I have a big backstock so I can just use my backstock and it makes my life easier. Find a way to make it come from a place of joy as opposed to a place of fear. If you find yourself getting into fear, stop and get back into joy, and then you can think about those things. But they say, if it feels to the self that the preparations to be made in a world of externality take precedence, but they do not. So we will feel like I have to hurry up and do these things. And they say, no, that is not. The urgency is here. This is the main thing that matters more than the rest. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do a few other things if you can, but they are way less important than this. This is the ticket. They're saying this is the pathway. So do this. And the other things will help you if you do them, right? But like they've asked us to have a way to clean water, right? And that doesn't have to be a crazy thing. It can be a life straw, which you can get cheaply. There's lots of different other type of, small, inexpensive things you use for hiking or camping that will purify water. Great idea to have it, but not if it puts you into fear. They said the key is this. They said those external things don't take precedence. Then they say, settle yourselves, settle your soul and your bodies, become at peace with your surroundings. Know they exist with or without you. Your surroundings exist with or without you, and you may settle yourself in the peace of your own truth and glide through what may come in this world and find your path through. And so the thing I would say about this, that even those of you who have chosen, there may be some of you who are light workers who have chosen to be in a place where there are difficulties. And that is a true thing. There may be some of you who have chosen to be in a place where other people will be suffering. And you've chosen to be there because you know you'll be of service. And so what they're saying is that even in that environment, when you are tuned into your heart, you will find what you need. The things that you need will suddenly appear for you. You will be guided through, even in an environment where things are crazy. And some of you will not be in those places. Some of you will be in places where you'll know that there are things going on in the world, but they won't be necessarily where you live. And that's okay too, because you will be in service in other ways. So we don't know what we've planned for ourselves, but trust your higher self that you've been put in the place which is going to give you the greatest benefit for you, and that you're going to be of the greatest service that you can be. So yeah. But we will all have our own path through. And they say you are guided through this connection within you. So it's really about listening to your own heart, to your own guidance, through the stirrings of your own blood, through the intuitive knowingness that will rise and pull you toward what feels like celebration. So that is, follow your intuition towards joy, towards celebration. These are joyful times within, even in the greatest calamity. The external soreness of a world that needs healing, the heart within knows what comes in the future. And you are drawn to this with ease, with plenty. So why would your heart be joyful when you're in a situation? Say that you're in an environment where there's been like a huge earthquake and like there's people who are suffering. Why in that environment would you feel joy? And it would be because your heart knows, this inner part of you that's birthing knows where you are going and where everybody that's here around you is heading. And it might be difficult now, but your heart knows the future. So that's where the joy comes from. So that's what we're meant to tune into. It's like holding on to this understanding of where we're going that brings us in like incredible internal peace and confidence in what's happening around us, right? That we know that we're being guided. Even in the greatest climate, and they say that you are drawn to this with ease, with plenty, right? So hold that as a prayer, a wish, a truth inside of you. And then they go on to say, be in the comfort of your body. Know the peace that's within your heart. This will guide you. This will guide you. And we stand as we are allowed, as you permit us, to create the pathway. So the angels are helping us. And they have shown me this many times about how they work with us, how your angels work with you. They say to align you as we may fortuitously find opportunities. We bring to you what you shall need. And so the way this works is that your vibration is like magnetic and it's manifesting all these opportunities around you. And so from those opportunities, the angels help to make sure that they knock out of the way the things that are going to be not in your highest and best good, and bring into your pathway the things that are going to be aligned with your highest and best. So the example I've used in the past is, say, for example, that you currently have a frequency that says, or that somebody has a frequency that says, okay, I need an awakening moment. I need a moment that's going to bring me a new truth. And so that could come in the form of a car crash, or that could come in the form of meeting someone who really lights you up and who tells you something amazing, right? It could be either one. And the angels will say, okay, the car crash is a resonance, shared frequency for what this person is emitting, but that's going to be way too derailing. It's going to create a lot of pain and suffering, and that's not going to be helpful to this person. So we're going to push that out of the way, and we're going to bring into the path this new person that this person's going to meet, because that's going to create all these new opportunities. So that's how the angels work, is it's your frequency, but they kind of clear the game board for you and make sure that you're headed to the things that are going to be best for you. And that's how they will help us. So they will find the things. So that's why we need to work with them by being in our heart, by being in that state of joy, of understanding what there is to celebrate about where we're going. And then they can work with that vibration by creating the pathway through the chaos for us, right? They help us by doing that. To align you as we may fortuitously find opportunities, they say. We bring to you what you shall need. So they're going to be our partners. Your angels are your partners through this experience. And they are for real, you guys. They are, you have more than one angel. You have a guardian angel who's responsible for guarding the light, your divinity, basically. Your guardian angel guards your divinity. But you have multiple angels who are helping you with this process. And they go on to say, pray to your own soul. Pray to your own heart. And so it's really, you're speaking to this inner part of you that's rising. Be still within, be quiet, and let the world unfold around you. Let chaos be chaos with or without you. Let it become what it shall be, as you shall, and peace will reign around you. Yeah, so it's an amazing message. I love the message, and I think it's incredibly helpful in terms of what we're looking at and what we're heading into, and just to know, they've given us a lot of information about what's going to happen during the flash of light, but we know that's not coming for a little while. My hope is 2026, second half of 2026. Fingers crossed. I would love that. Pam Gregory thought maybe sooner. I know other people that think it might be in 2030s. There's another kind of astrological event in the 2030s. I'm kind of hoping the 2030s is when we finally have world peace and we're able to connect to beings from off the planet. That's in my own personal hope. That's kind of how I see it unfolding, but that's just me, but that's what I think. So let me see what you guys are saying. Let me go down here. And then Rodney says, we just experienced a 5.0 quake here in Cabo. Oh, wow. It woke me at 5 a.m., but I never experienced fear. That's great that you didn't experience a fear. That's awesome. Debbie says, for me, it takes concentration to avoid fear and instead feel happiness and joy. This is not my natural go-to. I'm getting better at it. Yeah, it's practice. Just like I have to practice feeling celebration, maybe some of you have to practice moving from the head to the heart when you're feeling fear. And it's we can get better at it. I think I told you guys before that I used to not be able to feel my feelings. I couldn't identify or feel my feelings because my heart was closed. And it took constant practice. It took effort for me to learn to do it, for me to learn to identify, oh, that's what I'm feeling right now, to become in tune with what was happening in my heart. And we can get good at it. It's just like anything. You put energy towards it and I'm planning. I am working at getting better at celebration. I really am. I love the idea of doing the retreat as a celebration of the book. And I'm going to do that. That will feel great. That will be really, really fun. So that's going to happen. I got to think of what I would do. What would make that feel wonderful? And then Carrie says, I believe that we will be more prompted for the situation we will experience. Example, I try to pull out as much money as I have, but I feel that what I'm able to put aside will work for my specific situation. Same with water and food. I think that is I love that, Carrie. Thank you so much for saying that. And you're right that we are perfectly made for the experience that we are having. And I totally agree with you. I think that that do follow your intuition, follow your inner guidance. If you ever slip into fear, stop and go back to nothing, right? Go back to just like chill out and then come back to it when you feel clear. But yes, I 100% agree with you. I love that. And then Andrea says, I'm late to the party. Oh, thank you for joining us, Andrea. Yeah, great message today. You're going to love it. Debbie says, look at the Dalai Lama. He is always joyous regardless of his circumstances. Be like Dali. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And then Debbie says, then she says, easier said than done. We agree. But we can practice. We can practice it. Yeah, it's like anything. You just practice makes perfect. And then Rodney says about the earthquake, he says, I believe I did not experience any fear from the quake. For me personally, I was concerned for others living here. And then this is a disadvantaged area of the world. I guess I'm here now to support folks. So fear does not serve me, nor do I serve fear. Beautifully said, Rodney. And yeah, super interesting. Like, why did you choose there to be in your place? I think you might end up being of major service. Yeah, that is so cool. Debbie says, an awakening could occur from a broken wrist, although I'm actively physically healing. It's not about the wrist. It can occur from anything. Yeah, for sure. And then, for sure. And Kim says, an interesting example you just shared of because I had both a car event and people who showed up to offer new ways of perceiving my journey. Interesting. Yeah, and they will use, like, especially something like a car event can be a very karmic experience that was planned for you in order to, like you guys know, I had a divorce was a big part of my awakening where it kind of pulled the rug out from underneath me. And without that, I needed something of that scale, something that disrupted my entire life to kick me out of my old belief systems and make me question everything. And that was the thing that I got. So maybe your car crash was your experience. And there's people being born now who don't need those. Like, it seems like young people are coming in and waking up on their own. They're waking up through, and certainly they have like experiences and they're confronting themselves, but it seems like they don't have that midlife kick in the fanny. Oh, I just said it again. I'm sorry, all of you British watchers. I might have to edit that out. That kicked me in the rear end. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, boy. I need to change that word out of my vocabulary. So I found out after I said that several people from the UK commented that it has another meaning I did not know about. Geez. Okay. All right. So anyways, moving on from that, we say, Carrie says, me too, some 1,000 years before it all unfolds. I don't like that timeline. Oh my gosh. So Cheryl said, where are you? As I reflect on the years of this life, I can see the angels at work. I count on this, and when I try to control, I mess it up. Angels lead the way. Thank you for my blessings. Oh, yes, absolutely. And Rodney says, where am I? Here we are. Oh, Jen. Hey, Jen. She says, Gen Z. She says, I'm in a personal free fall, but feel almost no fear. It's almost confusing that I don't have fear with it, but so much nicer. That is phenomenal. And boy, and I know you've had a bunch of life transitions, and you are in the thick of it, but it is like I can feel your energy, and it's good. Like you're in a good, like you have so much more freedom in your energy than you ever did. And it's all about defining who you are. You're in a place where you're it's about defining your truth. And that's the pathway that you're on right now. And I know it's hard because it's like, who is it and who am I? But it's really good. And I can feel tons of energy, especially in your root chakra. It's great. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. Rodney says, you didn't choose Mexico and the angels lead me here, and I am just now realizing the depth of what I have yet to accomplish. Wow. And then, all right. You guys, thank you so much for spending the day with me. And I know this was a long one, so it kind of was like a day. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm sending you guys so much love. And I will see you guys. Those of you who would like to join me in Soul Convergence, don't forget, we start the 28th. You can join anytime. Sign up now, and then you will be joining us for the kickoff call on the September 28th. Have a great, great weekend. Tons of love. And I will see you guys next Friday live.